Please welcome Spacecoin founder, Mr. Tae Oh. This session will be moderated by Mr. Choi of Credit Labs. Okay, may I ask both people to please come on up. それではお二人がご登壇いたします。大きな拍手でお迎えください。
Hi everyone, my name is Choi. I'll be the moderator for this session discussing Spacecoin. Here with me, Tae Oh, founder of Spacecoin. Thank you, Tae, for joining this session. So for Spacecoin, I think people know about the project through conferences or different channels, but it seems people don't really know what the project is really about. So I think this is really a valuable time to discuss Spacecoin in detail. With that, let's jump into the questions. First, can you introduce yourself and tell us what led you to build Spacecoin?
Hi everyone, I'm Tae Oh. I'm founder and CEO of Glua, DevCo for a project called CreditCoin and Spacecoin. Back in 2017, we started CreditCoin project, and the thesis of CreditCoin was to connecting the idle capital in developed market suffering from near to zero interest rate and deploying it to higher opportunities in emerging market. Throughout the lifetime of this project, we successfully deployed and collected over $100 million in loan and to 2 million people, and successfully build the ecosystem and reaching over 4 million people in our ecosystem. And while we were on the mission to bank the unbanked, we learned that many of the unbanked population are also unconnected. And if you're offline, there's no way for any fintech or any Web3 technology to serve you. And we wanted to fix this adjacent problem as well. So we obviously looked into existing solutions in the market, such as Starlink. But while Starlink works fantastically well for high-rate data services, but the problem was it was just too expensive for our target demographic. GDP per capita in emerging market is typically slightly above $2,000, and Starlink satellite dish costs you about $600, and the subscription fee monthly is $150 plus. So we could not use Starlink for our target demographic, and we looked into if there's a way to lower the cost using the satellite technology. And thanks to SpaceX, the space industry is getting heavily commoditized. Now, each year, the cost of building and launching satellite is getting lower and lower with this discovery. And thanks to our team, we had having a background in the telecommunications and space industry, we researched and explore building our own version of space Starlink, which has a lower data rate but much lower cost, and also decentralized network.
Okay, that makes sense. So I got a question. So did you check the demand before building it? I hope you did. What were some of the feedbacks from potential users?
So as soon as we decided to explore this idea, Spacecoin, while our engineering team was researching and starting to build the technology, we also went to talk to potential clients or customers. If there's no demand in the market, there's no point of building any product. And also, we wanted to learn what kind of product they're looking for. There are three obvious target potential clients that we talk to. Governments, militaries, and also telcos. And they all were interested in this technology for different reasons. For governments, many governments in the emerging market were promising their unconnected population to bring internet to their area. But they all failed because of the lack of technology and the means to deliver the infrastructure. So they obviously wanted the idea of bringing a lower cost satellite-based ISP to serve their people. Basically, they want to win the next election. For militaries, they were interested in the option of owning satellites in the constellation. While Starlink can service all around the globe, there's an option to turn off by a centralized party, which is SpaceX, and militaries cannot rely on a solution that a third party can turn on or turn off. So they like the idea of being able to build their own satellite or customizing the satellite or even owning the satellite in the constellation. During the peacetime, they can share the satellite across different regions, but during the wartime, they can rely on a couple of satellites that they actually own and that nobody else can turn on or off. Lastly, the telcos were also interesting because they obviously want to compete against Starlink, covering the remote areas in their region. And the thing about telcos is that they are also very local businesses. So if you are a telco in a certain country, your service or your target market stops at the borders. So they don't want to go beyond that. But by the nature of the low Earth satellites, low Earth orbit satellites that you have to launch for, or the modern satellite-based ISP, it has to go around the globe, meaning that 95% of the time the satellite is out of your sight, meaning that it's useless to you. So for a local telco, launching a constellation to provide a satellite-based internet is very wasteful. So that they like the idea of the Uber for satellites, that you being able to share the same constellation across different regions and lowering their capex of building the satellite-based ISP.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Could you tell us about the core mission of the Spacecoin?
So initially, we are targeting on building what we define as a lifeline services. So it will be able to do basic financial transaction, messaging, and web browsing. And from there, we're gonna focus on this low data rate and work our way up to the higher data rate. And while we are building this decentralized network of satellites, ultimately what we want to achieve is a permissionless connectivity. Currently, the telco infrastructure is centralized due to the high capex. You have to spend billions and billions of dollars to provide a telco infrastructure, cable-based telco infrastructure specifically to cover global, national coverage. And due to this capex, this infrastructure is controlled and owned by a couple of governments and telcos. And by re-decentralizing the internet, like back in the days, into a peer-to-peer network, we want to achieve permissionless connectivity that allows people to join and leave freely, and also allow people to be part of the suppliers of this infrastructure. And we want to bring the net neutrality onto another level through this.
Okay. So I'm curious, is there really a market for a decentralized alternative?
So throughout the lifetime of the digital economy, digital world, in general, there was always a centralized and decentralized option. Back in the days, the OS was, there was one standard OS that everybody used called Unix, centrally developed by Bell Labs. But the problem of the centralized OS provider is whatever hardware that people start building, they had to wait until Bell Labs to build a driver to make it compatible to that OS, which took too long for the ecosystem have various suppliers and hardware developers. And on the other hand, people start building a decentralized or open source version of OS, which is Linux, and that allowed the hardware developers to build their own drivers, easily entering the ecosystem. And we see this pattern repeating. So in the OS, we see Unix or Windows, and there's a decentralized or open source version of it, which is Linux. And when Apple invented the modern smartphone, and they created iOS, and another iteration of Linux happened, which is Android, empowering all the other suppliers of this smartphone, like Galaxy or Huawei. And when it comes to money, while there's a SWIFT and USD technology, which is essentially working really well, people wanted a permissionless option, so they created Bitcoin. When cloud computing was invented by Amazon AWS, people still wanted a permissionless option, so they invented Ethereum and other L1s. So we believe there is an option, this option of permissionless connectivity will have its market, and there will be a demand for various services and various people who wants to build their own version of services based on the permissionless connectivity.
Okay, and how big is the market? What's your projections on?
I think the market will be in the hundreds of billions, and as this limit of the ground-based connectivity gets lifted off, and also this limit of the centrally planned connectivity gets lifted off, I think we will see a new market being defined by the open and permissionless connectivity, and which can reach to trillions. So Spacecoin connectivity doesn't only target the Earth, but it can go beyond the Earth. It can reach the Moon, it can reach Mars, and it can be basically the standard way to communicate with each other in space. So when that becomes a reality, I think the sky's the limit. And also, there's one important aspect of the Spacecoin project is that even though Bitcoin and Ethereum, Cardano, and there's a bunch of the very well decentralized network is currently protecting the trillions of assets, the connectivity layer is still centralized. And Spacecoin is on an important mission to decentralize the last layer that is currently centralized in the Web3.
Okay. And could you tell us the people behind the project?
There are so many people working behind this project. Our team at large is roughly over 150 people. About 80 of them are engineers. Obviously, we have a great branding team and marketing team working on and there are a couple of key advisors that's guiding us on this mission as well. One of them is Dr. Young-Kit Kim, ex-CEO of Samsung Electronics, helping us engineering from the telco angle. General Wesley Clark, ex-head of NATO and the first-star general of the United States, guiding us as getting connected with and working with the militaries all around the globe.
Thank you. Thank you again for walk us through the Spacecoin. I'm very excited to see how this vision unfold in coming month and year. And thank you everyone for joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oh and Mr. Choi. We'll now have a quick photo shoot with the two of you, so if you could please stand in the middle and take a look at the camera operator. はい、それでは皆様、これより記念写真の撮影を行います。ゲストの皆様はどうぞ携帯カメラを準備になられた上、写真撮影の方をご自由に行っていただいて大丈夫です。Okay, guys, big smile. Okay, here we go. The camera guy at the back. はい、よろしいでしょうか。ありがとうございました。Thank you both very much. もう一度大きな拍手をお願いいたします。Okay, everyone, we will be beginning our next session shortly. Until then, please sit tight. Thank you. それでは次のセッションまで今しばらくお待ちください。